Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. One moment, yeah?
Sure.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good, teacher. How about you? How are you, teacher?
I'm all right.
Alhamdulillah. So for the class, teacher, what should I prepare? A book, a pen, and then what else?
You should keep a notebook. That is the most important part.
Okay.
Also, sorry, I need to know exactly uh, what specific things do you need from me? Is it writing? You said?
Yes, yes. What I need the most right now is writing, especially for academic writing. For example, if I want to submit to academic journal, it's going to take a lot of effort for me to make the construction of my manuscript.
Okay. Say, and how many words it should be, your academic writing?
So maybe as I mentioned yesterday, for the beginning, it's just 1,000 words. But later on, after I make the manuscript, the draft of it, could be around, and also the report around 6,000 to 7,000 words.
Okay, so your, I mean to say, proposal should be 1,000 word or more or less,
Yes,
yeah? And
yes,
for the final assignment, it is 6,000 words.
yes.
Okay, all right. Um, I'll be happy if you can send me your draft. I'm going to send an email to my subscriber chat so that I can have a look as well. Okay.
Thank you.
And now this is why I always ask to all of our learners who want their writing to be checked. They can send me email, but remember, send the email is Word format. Okay, Microsoft Word. Do not send as a PDF. I can't check PDF. It will be difficult for
Yes,
me to edit from the PDF.
sure.
Okay, and as you might be aware, this lesson is called IELTS 4 skills. Uh, most of the students who have joined here, their target is either they're IELTS candidates or they like to improve their reading, writing, and speaking as well. So your end is only writing, that's fine. You don't have to sit for the IELTS exam, do you?
No, yeah. Right now, I don't have the plan in the coming um in the near future. I don't have any plan to take IELTS exam, teacher.
Okay. Mhm. So there are few things you must be aware for the development of academic writing. And the first thing is that do you know what are formal words or formal tone? Sometimes we call it. Have you heard of this term before? Formal tone.
I haven't. Actually, this is my first time listening from you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say an upvote.
But teacher, since I'm taking your class and your class is about IELTS, I don't mind learning the other aspect other than the writing. So because like we are in class and I'm sure I'm not the only student, right? So I'm fine with learning the other aspect.
Okay, but you know, there is one surprising matter about this class is though there are quite few number of students, sometimes they don't attend it. And
Oh, okay.
Robin is here. Welcome, Robin. So it is their responsibility when you subscribe to a class or lesson, you have to be on time. Welcome, Robin.
Hi, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir.
Okay, Robin subscribed last week, and his intent is to sit for the IELTS exam. Okay, so today we'll go
Oh,
through in IELTS exam. There are four things needed. Yeah, then I'll come to your point, Maimuna. Is that okay, Maimuna?
yes, I'm fine, teacher.
Okay, you can see these are the four criteria for the speaking in IELTS exam, and most of our learners are not aware how the marks are distributed and what are the criteria for it. Okay, so the first one is fluency and coherence, then lexical resources 25%, and grammatical range and accuracy 25%, and pronunciation 25%. So Robin, you sent an email asking that if I have got any reading materials. For this part, no. For the speaking part, we don't have any reading materials. But if you write any topic, Robin, as I said to
Sure.
Maimuna, I'm going to share. I think I've shared my email already. You can send me as a Word format so that I can check and give you the feedback. What things need to be developed or changed.
Sure, sir. Definitely, I'll do that. So you told me to write in a past tense, right?
I don't know. I said there. If you are describing an incident from the past, it should be always in past tense, unless it is a direct quotation or narration. For example, if I give the example, like when I was a child, my mom always told me, "You must study hard." Look, this is a direct narration in inverted commas. Generally, when you're describing anything from the past, it must be always in past tense. You can't use present tense because it happened in the past. How can you describe in present tense? And also, even in the past tense, we can use present tense when it is a universal truth, like the sun rises in the east. It is always truth. Okay, facts and some data are like that. Other than this, any explanation, any incident you're describing from the past should be in past tense, and that is also another writing style, Maimuna. Okay,
Yeah, teacher, may I ask you a question? It's
sure.
about writing. Sometimes I read when I read the journal, there are different types of writing. I mean, like when describe the procedure which they already done in the past, some of the writer might use present tense, but the other also may use past tense. uh, in your perspective, in especially in IELTS, which one is correct one, teacher?
Always use past tense.
Okay, noted. Use
But
past tense.
remember that Maimuna, when you're reading these published research papers, they published during those days. Okay, say for example, I was in 2015. I published a research paper now. Okay, so at the moment,
Yes.
obviously, I'm going to write a present tense. But when you will be
Oh,
reading after 5 years, still it should be written there as a present tense. It doesn't mean
oh,
that the writer has changed the concept. Okay, and another way,
okay.
like if you have say written an article today about global warming, for example, okay, you're using present tense and other different kinds of resources, yeah?
Yes.
Then you're writing in present form. But if you read it after 6 months, it should be same because
Mm,
you published during that time, it was present tense that time. Did you get the point?
yes.
So
Yes.
it doesn't mean that it should be present tense. But when you're writing from the past, like when you're referring, say you are referring, philosopher Mai said in her book, page 23, then inverted comma if you want to use present tense. But generally, we don't copy like this in research paper, academic writing. It should be always paraphrased or rephrased.
Oh, all right, teacher.
Okay, but if you want to copy and paste, you must mention the writer's name. We call it
Yeah.
in-text citation. I'm writing it. I'm sure you know that in-text citation.
Yes. The
That is
citation.
mostly needed for a research paper or
Yes,
assignments,
teacher.
which has got more than 3,000 words. Even for the 2,000 words, in-text citation.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to highlight a little bit more. Let us, because Robin joined only last week. Robin, do you have any question? I explained him about this, IELTS speaking part, task 1, and task 2 we didn't go through with him, and task 3 will be coming back later. Today we are going to learn about these 4 terms: fluency and coherence, lexical sources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. Remember that Maimuna and Robin, whether they have got an accent or not, that doesn't matter, but it must be matter if you don't follow the pronunciation rules, and there are some basic rules. And as we go through, I'm going to share some of the rules, but remember that whatever you learn, you have to practice it. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you're going to forget, Our human brains has been created in such a way that we forget every time because there is energy level inside us. And think that if we don't forget the pains from our past or the bad times or hard times, we all would be mad up to now. Each and every person has their bad times or painful days in the past, right? But our human brain, that is the amazing creation of the God that has been, structured in such a way, especially the hypothalamus, the part of brain, and the new neurons, the nerve cells, that we tend to forget those things easily. And we forget it, honestly. Okay, let us share
Okay,
the
teacher.
first thing, coherence. Okay, by the way, uh, to use the source from the British Council, which is the authentic source. Okay, can you see the screen, everyone?
Yes, I can see.
So in speaking, the first term we use fluency and coherence. Okay, let me give you a brief example and simplified definition of fluency. Fluency means when you're talking about a topic without hesitation, without stopping, without limitation, and not too fast, not too slow, and only about the topic, step by step in a logical way. That is the meaning of fluency and coherence. Okay, let's just listen to this video. So, you've decided to take the IELTS exam. Congratulations. Success starts with IELTS. The speaking test is divided into 3 sections. Part 1 is the introduction and general questions. Part 2 is the long turn, and Part 3 is an analytical discussion. It's important to understand the criteria on which you will be tested in the IELTS exam. First, we consider the criteria of fluency and coherence. This is one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. We'll cover the other 3 in later videos. Fluency and coherence refer to your ability to speak at length, including organizing ideas logically and appropriately signposting. It also refers to your ability to express and justify opinions and to discuss and speculate about issues without long pauses or repetition of the same words. Signposting is the use of words or phrases that indicate the direction of your thoughts. We will give you some examples of this in a moment. Many students try memorizing large portions of speech to repeat during the speaking test, but this can add unnecessary stress and sound unnatural. We don't recommend this approach.
Here are a few tips to improve your speaking test performance. As you are speaking about a topic, build on your point of view by adding a few details. For example, if the question is, "What do you do?" rather than responding with, "I am a teacher," you might expand this to, "I have been a high school mathematics teacher in New York for over 5 years." For part 2 of the test, use the bullet points on the task card to help you structure your long turn and make notes in the 1 minute that's given using key words. In part 3 particularly, it is important to develop your answers and to speak at length. You can do this by thinking of reasons, effects, comparisons, supporting examples, and personal experience. Just make sure you are signposting what you say. For example, discussing excessive TV watching, you might mention reasons, increasing numbers of TV channels compared to a generation ago, and the popularity of TV characters. Effects, increasing obesity levels, eyesight problems, and other health issues. Experience, my nephew watches nothing except cartoons. He will not study. Here are some examples of signposting for part 3 of the test. Compare contrast. In my view, there are 2 main differences. Responding to a point. Yes, I agree because, or I'm not sure I agree with that. You see, speculating on the future. I think we'll probably see a lot of, or maybe there'll be more, or it's unlikely that we will have. Practice is the key to increasing your fluency. There are no shortcuts. Practice using English in everyday communication as much as you can. Record yourself talking about different subjects. Then play it back and listen for linking expressions, hesitation, words you may be repeating, and times when your speech is slow. This will help improve your fluency. The assessment criteria is the only thing on which you will be tested. You will not be assessed on your appearance, body language while speaking in the exam, or your creative ideas. IELTS examiners are very consistent with their application of the IELTS assessment criteria. It is the same assessment given everywhere in the country and everywhere in the world. For more information, please see the other speaking test videos, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation.
Okay, so these are the 4 criteria for the IELTS exam. And is there any questions from this video, Maimuna?
Excuse me, teacher, can you repeat again? Your voice was breaking a moment
Uh,
ago.
is there any question then I need to clarify? Is there any terms maybe?
I have one question, normal question. This one, you referred British Council, right? But in India, the exam is conducted by IDP Education.
IDB Australia, yeah, they've got the similar bending, okay? They're only the exam authority. The questions are from here. Okay, Robin?
Okay, questions are from IDP Australia or like from British Council?
Okay, IDB Australia and British Council are the part of the IELTS exam boards, okay? It's like,
Okay.
you know, while you're sitting the exam in your country, your head board is same, like, but it's from different states. Similarly, so in order to make it easier, what the IELTS authority did, they divided that some parts should be in charge of IDP Australia, and some parts should be British Council. But exam quality, questions, standards, all are same and identical, and there is no difference at all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, but sometimes people say that when you're sitting for the speaking task, IDP Australia, these examiners are more flexible than the British Council. That's not the fact. They are same. They are equally trained. They have got similar kinds of expertise. All right, let's play this quickly. The next part is lexical resources and vocabulary, another 25%.
know you've decided to take the IELTS exam.
So this is
Great
much
choice.
important for
It's
you,
the
Maimuna,
test that opens
vocabulary.
doors around the world. Here we look at the criteria of lexical resource. This is one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. Lexical resource focuses on the range of vocabulary a candidate uses. The wider the range, the better you will score. You will need to understand these factors to score well on the test. The ability to use vocabulary effectively, including the right collocation. That is, words naturally used together. For instance, lions roar. Lions do not shout. Alternatively, we make a phone call. We do not do a phone call. An awareness of connotation. This refers to the positive, neutral, or negative association some words have. For example, laid back, positive. Inactive, neutral. Lazy, negative. Slim, thin, skinny. The use of less common vocabulary or expressions. Many candidates memorize impressive lists of vocabulary, but often end up using them in the wrong way because they haven't understood them properly. To improve your vocabulary, we recommend these steps. Always try to learn new vocabulary when reading in English. Look out for new words. Seeing words in their context helps you learn the meaning, usage, and collocation. Online newspapers are a good resource. These can also help you keep up on the vocabulary of current affairs. Group new vocabulary into related subjects and learn these together, rather than making long lists of unrelated words. For example, make a list of words about sports. Using mind maps often helps with this. Learn more synonyms. These are words or expressions which have a similar meaning. Knowledge of synonyms will help with all parts of the IELTS test. Try using a thesaurus. Make small word cards with the word written on one side of the card and the translation and an example sentence on the other side. You can then test yourself. Practice is the key. Not to memorize, but to practice discussing different topics, weaving in the vocabulary you have learned. Research shows practice improves test scores. Don't give up if you can't find the right word. Keep trying to explain what you mean, even if it takes a little longer. This is called paraphrasing. You will get credit for this. IELTS speaking tests include general everyday topics. Specialist knowledge isn't expected. The topics are relevant to all of the 135 countries in which IELTS is used. For more information, please see the other speaking test videos: fluency and coherence, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation.
Okay. Any question from this part?
No, sir.
Robin? Robin has
Sir, paraphrasing, can you tell me? Paraphrasing.
paraphrasing. Okay. Maimuna, I'm sure you know this word paraphrasing. What do you mean by that paraphrasing?
Paraphrasing, in my opinion, is like you try to explain or define something that you an object or a process with your own word. I mean, like perhaps you already know the definition of a process or an object from the book, but you try to make your own definition with your own word.
Exactly. That is the meaning. So in IELTS academic writing, Robin, especially task 1, you'll be given a chart or a graph or a bar, and there will be a topic and nothing will be given. So you have to develop your thoughts process to write from there. The first thing we always say, paraphrase it. What does it mean? So Maimuna has given a very good example. Then when you read something from anywhere, you have to now write it in your own words. But remember that whenever you're writing, it should be 100% grammatically correct. Otherwise, you're not going to get marks, even in a research paper as well. Yeah, Maimuna, that is very important. spelling, correction, accuracy, grammar. And I've written a word. Can you see on the screen, the comment section, Robin?
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
I'm on my way. Like someone is calling, say, Robin, hey, Robin, where are you? He said, I'm on my way. Now, Maimuna has said the same thing. I'm on my way. How can we paraphrase this small sentence? Then it will be easier for you, Robin. That's why I've just written this small sentence. How can you paraphrase it, Maimuna? I'm on my way.
I'm still traveling.
I'm still traveling. Very good. How about you, Maimuna?
Mm, I'm in the middle of the traffic. No.
It could be. Yeah, that's right. I'm in the middle of the traffic. It depends. So remember that paraphrase is also a dependable factor, depending on the how you think of it. If you notice that they have given some one example, collocation, okay, and also they have written another word, that your thought process, that is positive thought process, negative, and also neutral thought process. It depends how you're going to think. Remember that in order to get good marks, our thought process should be always positive rather than neutral or negative. They have given an example, if you remember. So if you say, I'm in the middle of the traffic, okay, it is a kind of neutral thought, okay? I'm traveling, that is positive thought. But if you can also say, I'm coming soon, that is another positive
Oh,
thought.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Did you get it, Maimun and Robin? So
Yes, sir.
that
Yes,
is the
yes.
simplest way. Paraphrase means when you write something in your own way, but remember to write in a positive way, okay? Do not go for any negative way. And they have used another word, collocation. Yeah?
What is the
Collo-
difference between collocation and connotation?
okay.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah. Sorry, I've given the example that was connotation. This is collocation is when some words take another word naturally. Like they gave the example, lions roar. Yeah. Lions do not shout. Okay. And that's just an example. And I'm writing one
Make
thing.
phone.
Make a phone call. Do a mistake or make a mistake?
Do is a mistake.
Make a mistake.
So do a mistake or make a mistake? You said make a mistake, my Muna. And Robin says do a mistake. No, make a mistake is natural. And if you ever use this word like listen or subscribe, yeah? Do you know what are the collocation words we can use after this two? We don't use listen. We don't use subscribe. Maimuna?
Mm, I have no idea, teacher. Sorry. Listen and subscribe.
Okay, Robin?
Sir, you are asking about. Are you asking about listen and difference between listen and subscribe?
No, I'm not asking about that. I'm asking the collocation words. What do you use after listen? There is another word comes after that in both of them.
Okay.
So I'm sure you know that, but maybe you can't remember. It is listen to. We don't simply say listen. Listen to, say to, yeah? Similarly, say to. Like he said to me. We don't say he said me, yeah? He's similarly say to, listen to. Very common use, these three words. We use oftentimes in different places. Subscribe to, yeah? Subscribe to. These are all are to, the preposition.
Oh,
We do not use without using to anywhere, except it is a gerund, like listening comprehension. It's a gerund, listening. Okay, clear? Like what are you
yes.
saying? It is, when it is like continuous or progressive or gerund, we can use without preposition. That's fine. But if it is present on past tense, generally we don't use without using to. Like he said to me, he says to me. Okay, listen to me, guys. I was listening to the music. Are you going to listen to my class? Are you going to listen to your teacher? Are you going to listen to the today's news?
Okay.
So remember, collocation is important part for academic writing, research paper, even for the presentation. Maimun and Robin, it is very, very important. Now there is a question very often in a student that's, what if I don't use to? Still you will get mark, but you will get lesser mark. Okay. I remember that in order to get good marks, even in a research paper or IELTS academic writing, it is really, really a vital factor to know what are collocations, what words do you use together, and also the connotation, the thought process, positive, neutral, and negative. Okay, let's move on to the third part. We go through grammar, why grammar is needed.
So, you've decided to take the IELTS exam. Good for you. It's the test for study, work, and life. The IELTS speaking test is divided into 3 sections. Part 1 is an introduction and general questions. Part 2 is the long turn. And Part 3 is an analytical discussion. Here we look at the criteria of grammatical range and accuracy. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. This criteria focuses on the range and accuracy of the test taker's grammar while speaking. Look for our accompanying downloads for examples of the range of grammatical structure. The range of grammar includes using a variety of complex structures. These are sentences with multiple bits of information. Contrast that to separate, simple sentences with a single piece of information. For example, just beside the station was a stadium which was built in the 19th century and where games are now held every weekend. It isn't expected that candidates are 100% accurate. However, control is important. The Band 7 definition for grammatical range and accuracy says, frequently produces error-free sentences, though some grammatical mistakes persist. It's not just the number of grammatical mistakes, but also how seriously these mistakes block communication. To improve your grammar, take these steps. Be prepared. Make sure that you know the speaking test format and what type of questions to expect in each section. Many tasks in Part 2 of the IELTS speaking test relate to the past, so you most likely use past tenses. Ensure you know the past tenses of common verbs. Some questions in Part 3 ask you to speculate about the future, so use the right tenses in the answers to reflect this. Look out for the British Council's Johnny Grammar apps and videos that can help explain the commonly used tenses for you. Practice. Particularly think about the tenses you use. Ensure these relate to the questions. If the question asked is, what did you do at work today? The main word here is did, which is in the past tense, so your answer should be in the past tense too. For example, today I wrote a business brief. Don't worry if you realize you've made a mistake. It's okay to correct yourself. Record yourself speaking and listen to identify errors. IELTS results range from band scores of 1 to 9. However, there are not specific questions for different band scores, and there can't be, as the score isn't assigned until the end of the speaking test. Also, remember there are no quotas for IELTS band scores. Each individual is scored on their own merits. For more information, please see the other speaking test videos: Fluency and Coherence, Lexical Resource and Accuracy, and Pronunciation.
Hello, Jana. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good. I went to my friend's wedding, so I'm late.
Right. Okay. Today we are, giving all these 4 important criteria in speaking task.
Okay.
And we've got a new classmate, Maimuna, who is a research student from Indonesia.
Ooh. Okay.
Hello, Jana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And also, sorry, I forgot to introduce you as well. Robin is from India. Robin, Robin, are you there?
Yeah, hi Maya.
And I'm sure.
Hello, Robin. Nice to meet you.
I think
Nice
Robin,
to
you
meet
met Jana last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I met Jan. I'm thinking like she's not joining today.
Yeah.
She went to the party. She said, yeah, waiting. Okay, so Jana, we already showed the video, the first part, speaking fluency and coherence, lexical resource and vocabulary. This is the third part. You could watch it later, okay? As you might be aware, it is saved under my YouTube channel as well as under my account on the Hallo. So if you visit any of these places, you'll be able to see from there.
Okay.
Okay, for the grammar, I'm sure in every lesson you have there is one word, practice. Whatever you do, you have to practice it. There is no shortcut. It is said few times in every video. No easy method, no quicker method. In order to develop your scoring, your writing skill and capacity, you have to practice regardless, whatever knowledge you've got. Remember that this is a like a, I should say, by biblical word, okay? The word of the scripture that practice is the key factor for anything else to be a successful person in life.
Okay.
Okay, from this video, is there any questions? Maimuna and Robin and Jana has joined lately. I'm going to give some clues how we can use grammar properly. Any question, Maimuna?
No, sir.
Robin
No, sir.
and Jana?
Yep.
Okay, remember there was a sample question like, what did you do this morning in your office? So here they said, in order to answer your grammar question correctly, we must always understand the question. We must follow it. What kind of tense has been used there? Is it a past tense or present tense or future tense? And we have to answer accordingly. And as I said earlier, if a question is from the past, like in this case, what did you do in the morning in your office? You have to use past tense blindly. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to write in past tense, that will be the difficult and challenging part. And I'm sure more or less you all are aware of it. Now, in past tense, I said there are some situations still you can use present tense. When it is a direct quotation, we call it in grammar narration. Okay, like my boss said, I'm writing it. Yeah, my boss said, in inverted comma, Ali, you're not on time today. For example, you're not on time today. For example, okay, look, you're not on time is a present tense, but the sentence started with the past verb. My boss said, Ali, you're not on time today. What's the problem or what's the matter? Did you get the point? Still we can use, okay, present tense. Like I gave another example when I was a child, my mother always said to me, study hard if you want to be successful in life. This is inverted comma. Okay, and one important matter I was still observing for the last few days with not you, other learners, try to use punctuation correctly, like full stop, comma, and other punctuation like colon, semicolon when you're writing. And when you're speaking, also you can use it. How? This is the one of the greatest examples. If it is a full stop, we stop for a second, yeah? A microsecond, you should say. Okay, if it is a comma, we stop less than full stop. If it is a question, if you remember, I said to quite a few times, our tone must go up so that your listener can understand. It's a question like, hey, what's your name? That look, our tone is going up. All right, remember to use this type of punctuation and try to speak, I call always naturally, and sometimes we call it articulately. Articulation, the process means when you're trying to talk naturally, using your own natural tone. You don't have to have the fake accent. Don't ever do that. That is another example on this part. Use the natural way of learning. Do not memorize some words. The examiner will be able to understand that you have memorized it from somewhere. Okay, and some people have seen that in other live streams. They memorize vocabulary and they don't know how to use it properly. They come to my live stream, they use these words wrongly. I said to them, your word is correct, but you have to understand the context. If you remember, context is very important when you're speaking and writing. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to take a test after that. We're nearly done. So the last part is pronunciation. Listen it quickly.
So, you've decided to take the IELTS exam. Well done. It's the test that's recognized and respected around the world. Here we will look at the criteria of pronunciation. This is one of 4 criteria on which you will be tested. Look for the other 3 criteria in other videos. This criteria focuses on the accuracy and variety of pronunciation features, which include individual sounds. The spelling of a word can sometimes confuse this. For example, euphemism. Word stress. Stressing the wrong syllable in a word is a frequent error. For instance, it should be mistake, democracy. Word stress can be confusing when it changes with different parts of a word family. For instance, photograph, photography, photographic. Sentence stress. For instance, the way that some words in a sentence are emphasized or slightly louder. For example, if I were you, I'd go by bus. Intonation. The pitch of your voice changing as you talk. Monotone intonation is typical of someone who has memorized long responses. This may result in lower test scores. Chunking. Talking in a rhythm which delivers chunks of words with short silences in between. Good public speakers often use this skill. To improve your pronunciation, we recommend these steps. The first step is to find out how English intonation, sentence stress, and rhythm differ from your native language. Ensure you understand the effect of sentence stress and intonation on meaning. Then practice using these in different ways. Refer to a dictionary to confirm the correct word stress if you are unsure. Listening to a variety of authentic English sources will help you become familiar with a range of pronunciation features. For instance, listen to the BBC Radio or the Voice of America in whatever subjects interest you. Even if you're not listening closely, having the radio or television on in the background can help attune you to the rhythm and intonation of another language. Don't rush when you speak. That's a common mistake. You might skip sounds or words. It's better to speak clearly. Recording yourself can be very useful. Try to apply what you've learned about the different features of pronunciation in English. Chunking is a particular skill you can develop by recording yourself. The face-to-face nature of the IELTS speaking test encourages you to develop the skills you will need to interact successfully with English speakers. For more information, please see the other speaking test videos, Fluency and Coherence, Lexical Resource, and Grammatical Range and Accuracy.
Okay. So, any question? This pronunciation part, this hardest part of the exam. Maimuna?
Teacher, I would like to ask you about this pronunciation. Earlier, when we were reviewing about speaking, you mentioned like if you use like punctuation in our sentences, it's going to be used when we are speaking. For example, the tone of the speaker will be following the punctuation, and also I think this has to do it has some connection with pronunciation. How can we, for example, for me, I'm not used to making this kind correct um, pronunciation and also grammatical writing, how to better ourselves.
Okay, so you're more or less right because punctuation is a part of the pronunciation. Like
Yes.
you have used a word just now, I'm writing it. Let me see how our other learners pronounce it. Jenna, how do you pronounce this word?
Correct.
Okay, Robin. Robin, are you there?
Hello, I'm on mute. Sorry.
Okay, can you see this word I've written on the screen?
1 second, sir. Yeah, context, right? You're asking.
After that, there is another comment.
Correct.
Okay, though it starts with O, Maimuna, here the sound is ah. Correct. O is not
Correct.
always O. It is not correct. It is correct. Ka.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Let us give some more examples because you have brought this O sound. Okay. How do you pronounce this word?
Onion.
Okay. Jana,
Onion.
Robin.
Onion.
Hmm? Say again.
Onion.
Onion. Okay. Remember
Onion.
there is no O sound in this case as well. It is onion. Ah.
Onion. Yeah.
Ah.
Onion. Oh,
Sir,
okay.
can you tell about that one last time you told, right? Verb and noun, where we can able to
Yes.
remove R.
I'm going to explain and I'm going to take a little bit test for all of you. Yeah, let us finish. And
Okay.
so remember that there are many sounds, though it starts with O or O inside the word, we don't pronounce as it is. It is a sound in this, like correct, onion, dab, done.
Done.
Okay, dab can be dope when it is used as a verb. Okay, if it is noun, it is dab, the bird, the tiny bird, like looks like pigeon.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the examples they are explaining in the last part. Where is it? Hang on a second. Yes, see, there are thousands of verbs, thousands of words we use. Um, can you see my screen as a verb and noun? Okay. One example they have given this word, mistake. Yeah. Okay. And the important intonation or the correct stress is when you use as a noun, the noun should be always from upper
Mm.
tone to down tone, or we call rising intonation to falling intonation. So sometimes you need to practice this, otherwise it will be difficult to change the tone. Like if I say hello, look, it is going from down to up, like hello, up to down. And they have said monotone, like hello. But robots and machines always talk like this. Hello, what's your name? I'm the T22 from 1920. This is monotone, no change, no variations. Humans generally do not talk like this. Okay, in our speaking or talking, we always follow our natural tone, natural way of expressing. So our voice goes up and down, up and down. When you're angry, yeah, I'm sure you have noticed that our voice always goes up. "Hey, what did you do today?" For example, okay. But when you're
Yeah.
surprised, our tone also goes differently. Oh, you have achieved it. Look, it's a different way. So that is the part is related to the tone, intonation, and our expressions. So we'll explain to the verb and noun. We have got 11 minutes, and I'm sure if you remember this technique, your speaking would be much more better than what you used to speak before. But you have to remember and practice it. This is my suggestion. And also, Jana, have you got your written part? I have checked it and gave you by email back.
Yes.
Okay, did you read the notes? What I've recommended?
Yeah, I read it, but I don't get it. You did the three shops up there.
Okay.
That means you corrected or
Yes, I have corrected some of them, and
uh-huh.
some of them I have suggested what you have to do, and the word count.
Uh-huh.
You have to reduce the word count because in writing part two, it should be in between 250 to 300, but your one was 363, which is
Yeah.
way too much. Okay,
Oh, really?
it should
Okay.
it should be reduced. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's focus this one. And by the way, I'm going to send my email address one more time in my subscriber chat. I'll suggest Maimuna, Jenna, and Robin. Choose a topic and send it to me, because we have got 1 week time. I have enough time to check it and correct it and give you the feedback, so that how you can develop your writing. Okay, now verb noun once again. And if it is a noun, the tone is from upper to down. Okay, so I've given an example. Can you see that word? Conduct.
Conduct.
That's I've written in capital form. Con. We're stressing on con, then duct is going down. Conduct, noun, rules. Like Hello has a strong code of conduct. Okay,
Conduct.
conduct. Okay, remember, all the noun has similar intonation, similar stress. Any word, and when it is verb, it is the other way around, like down to up, conduct. And in the video, they have given the example like mistake and mistake. Like you're making mistake when it is noun. Okay, so mistake, noun. But if you are using as a verb, then miss. Hey, what kind of person are you? You're making mistake. Yeah, noun. I'm always mistaking. For example, mistaking, mistake. This is verb. So this is a unique rule for noun and verb. Is it clear, Maimuna, Jana, and Robin?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to test. I'm going to give some words like this one. Hang on a second. Not this word. Easy word, yeah? And also, remember another thing, sorry, I should have added. If the word has got only one syllable, like act, it could be used as a verb and noun. In that case, we don't have to change the tone. It should be same. This changing tone depends if the word has more than 2 or 3 syllables. And I'm sure you know the syllable is the concept how you break the word to pronounce it correctly. Okay? Like hospital, okay? Hos and pital. Hospital, hospital, 3 syllables. But when there are 2 letters or 3 letters, most of the cases it is single syllable, like go, no, act, done. Done is single syllable. Clear?
Yep.
Okay, test for you. Maimuna first. How can we use this word contract as a noun? What type of intonation or stress we should use?
Contract
Mm-hmm. Jana?
as noun.
Jana?
Mm-hmm.
So,
For noun.
yes, let's go for noun.
Okay. Contract.
Robin?
Contract.
Very good. See, remember that you have mastered the technique of one of the amazing intonations, and we every day, whenever you're writing or speaking, you'll find thousands of words. There is at least I should say 15,000 words which are used as both noun as verb. Okay, so just try to remember it, please. Next one. Now, if you want to use as a verb, Maimuna?
Contract.
Very good. Jana?
Contract.
It's down to up, Jana, remember.
Okay. Contract.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult down to up sometimes. Do you sing songs? In singing, the tones always goes up and down, yeah? Ah, oh, oh, like this, Robin? Robin. Sorry.
Contract.
Uh, Other way around. Contract. You're pronouncing the same. Okay.
Contract.
Remember that when you are stressing, that stressing part should be another technique, a bit longer sound. Like, okay, contract and contract.
Contract.
Very good. Now, the problem is, honestly, Maimuna, Jana, and Robin, I have seen it in many occasions. Though you can pronounce the words correctly, but when you are using in the word, it is sometimes impossible to maintain that intonation. So
Yeah.
I'll suggest you, all of you, give one sentence. We have got 5 minutes still. No worries. Maimuna first. One examples, the same word, verb and noun.
Of using contract.
Yes. If you can use one sentence correctly, one word correctly, I'm sure I have the belief on you that you can use the thousands of words correctly.
The day after tomorrow, I am scheduled to sign the contract.
Mm-hmm. Very good sentence, though. Well done. Jana?
Um, um, I will go last.
Okay. We don't have much time, though. Robin,
Okay. Rec-
contract as a noun.
Recently, I got a contract to construct the roads, but because of financial resources,
Mm-hmm.
because lacking of financial resources, that contract got cancelled.
Very good and amazing sentence. Look, it is a compound and complex sentences. That's very amazing. And this is another important part for you, Maimun and Jana, to use compound sentences. It has been explained in the grammatical part. If you use compound sentences, it will bring more marks. Remember that. When somebody is in small sentence, but you're using compound, double or triple ideas, it is bringing more marks. Okay, now Jana, it's your turn.
Okay. The contract is open-ended.
Very good. You could have used some other words, open-ended, but I requested my employer to make it with um, blah blah blah, whatever it is. Very good, all of you. Okay, now as a verb, Maimuna, what does contract mean, by the way? Do you know the meaning?
Is it a document, agreement between two parties,
That is as a noun.
or more?
Okay,
Oh, as a noun.
that is agreement,
Oh,
document. Yeah, but when you use a verb, what does it mean? We need to understand the meaning as well if you want to make correct sentences. Okay, contract means
right.
as a verb. I'm writing it. Yeah? You know this. In grammar, we use very often contraction of the verbs like is not, isn't, are not, aren't.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? Contract. Shorten.
Yeah. Yeah. Like shrinking
Shrink.
thing.
Yes, shrink. Okay, making it smaller. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
these are the possible meanings depending on the context. Okay, now go on. We have got 54 seconds quickly. My Maimuna.
The addition of X solution will have the effect of contracting the solution.
Okay, well, fine. Whatever the sentence we are, that's okay. Jana.
The heart muscles contract to expel the blood.
Very good. Both of you are correct. Bravo. Robin.
The balloon got shrinked, contracted because of the lack of water.
Okay, that's great. We have got 7 seconds. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Send
Bye-bye.
any questions through the subscriber chat.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.